Good evening, Metal Faithful. It is I, your mandated reporter, and frankly, I'm mortified, Mr. Mark Radulich, and this is the Metal Hammer of Doom. Tonight, we go back to Lordiversity to get your edumacation, yes, sir. We are talking Skelectric Dinosaur, the Disc 1, as it's been known on Lordiversity, and it's influenced by early Kiss and Alice Cooper. Be my Frankenstein, Jesse Starcher. Be my Frankenstein.
Wow. I guess I will. You've convinced me. I shall be your Frankenstein, sir.
It's
Thank
pronounced
you.
Frankenstein.
Frankenstein. And I guess your name must be Igor. No, it's Igor. Or backwards. And that, of course, is the Metal Coop, Robert Cooper. How do you do, sir?
You know, I used to mix up Mel Brooks and Mel Blanc every once in a while.
Oh, my God. Alexis Hannah would kick you squat in the nuts for that.
That's fine. I'm going to stop.
Yep. Let's play nice. Be nice.
Yeah, let's save that for the after party, because after the party is the hotel lobby.
All right, Jesse. So what do you think? We got another Lordiversity album here. How do you feel about it?
We peaked. Not here, that's for sure.
Drop.
So, yeah, we're heading back a ways with this album. And I know you're going to drop the details on it. So, am I excited?
Am I?
I mean, I know what we're getting into. I know it's Lordi. I know what the purpose of Lordiversity is. We've talked about it in the last 5 episodes that we've done on these Lordi albums.
Mm-hmm.
So, is it an era that I'm going to enjoy is the question. And I already know the answer to that, but we'll find out as we go along through the podcast. I want to keep everybody just sitting there trying to figure out how I feel.
Yeah, I mean, there's not too many details to share with this one. Like I said, it's influenced by early Kiss. I mean, at this point, we're almost done with all the Lordiversity albums. We've talked this kind of to death. I mean, I'm almost
Promise?
ready.
Nah, you got one more, Coop. You've got to sit through, buddy.
Is it a good one at least?
Well, there could be arguments that could be had that it could be better than this one.
Oh, good. That's like saying Vicks Vapor Rub is really better than natural lubrication.
Oh boy.
Oh, boy.
Oh, tune into the TikTok for that, ladies and gentlemen.
If I ever get back to doing them, Jesus Christ. So yeah, do you just want to jump into this, Jesse, or you know, do you have anything you want to share before we?
Yeah, did you already say this is 1975? I believe is when this.
1975, baby, the year before I was born, my old ass.
Let's preface this with, I mean, hey, listen, anybody could be a new listener. So the concept behind Lordiversity was a 7-album drop of let's just say Lordi is trying to simulate these eras like they've been around since 75. That's the whole point. So what we're getting into here is what they believe they would have sounded like and used some of the influences from that era of music, 1975. So we already talked about Kiss and Alice Cooper. That's kind of what you're getting here. Other albums, as they go along the timeline, go all the way up through the 90s. And this is Disc 1. This is the earliest rendition of what Lordi had planned for us here. So that's what we're getting into. But yeah, I'm fully prepared to jump into this, see what we get.
All right. Here we go with the first. I'm going to stop sending everyone the video that we just recorded. I'm going to go ahead and play the first 3 tracks here from Skelectric Dinosaur, Day of the Devil, Star Sign Spitfire, and Maximum O'Lovin' is this title of your sex tape. That is, of course, Jesse Starcher's porn name, Maximum 11.
That's right, buddy. Rough as a bear, sir. Rough as a bear.
Jesse never needs the lube to make the moisture.
I mean, why would he? He's got the hand sanitizer.
That's right, buddy.
Is that how you keep the missus in line? Just like, listen, you better start making sandwiches and cut the grass, so you're getting the old hand sanitizer, and the hoo-ha got you all in check.
Oh, you gotta turn the hand sanitizer and make it a clam sanitizer, am I right?
Hey now! Hey, Natalia.
Hey, cleanliness is next to godliness. What?
Nobody likes a dirty vagina, that's Jesse Starcher. Nobody. Isn't that right, Melissa? Nobody likes a dirty vagina? You have to keep even Miss Moisture over here says you have to keep a clean vagina.
Miss Moisture.
Which
you have to keep the cooter clean, or else you get a rotten bean.
Robert Cooper says you have to keep the cooter clean, or else you get a rotten bean. And you've killed my wife.
What can I say? I'm pretty good at killing women.
I want a quick check in here, Melissa. Which is worse, me like this or me like I was an hour ago?
Why don't you ask me that question?
Okay. Well, my wife says she prefers like sexually silly Mark over passive aggressive angry Mark. Which do you prefer, Jesse?
Oh well, passive aggressive angry Mark is pretty fun.
So. Jesse says passive aggressive angry Mark is still fun.
He's saying it really hits the mark.
Anywho, hey, how about these songs, Jesse?
Okay, I mean, if I'm so glad that they didn't keep it a mystery that this is definitely inspired by Kiss. I mean, God.
Yeah, I was like, could it be more obvious?
I mean, right there at the very beginning. I mean, so yeah, Kiss is not my favorite band. There's a couple songs that I can tolerate, but usually I'm not finding any enjoyment out of listening to Kiss. So this album, I had a feeling was going to probably fall flat for me. Maybe the bottom of the Lordiversity collection here. I will say that they intently told everybody some of these albums may not be for you. So it's not like I'm expecting Lordi to do anything here. However, I mean, I did kind of enjoy Star Sign Spitfire, our second song there, which is, hey, it's a standout for me on this album. Maximum 11. Now look at the content the lyrical content that we always get from Lordi here. Mm-hmm. It's always, they're always either making some kind of sexual innuendo or not even that, just like straight up, no innuendo involved, making some type of sexual reference, or it's always some type of dark talking about the devil. But it's like our first song, Day Off of the Devil, is innocent enough. It's just about the devil taking a day off and, enjoying his day. Okay, all right then.
Could you get any simpler, really?
That's all it is. Maximum 11, though. This is Lordi talking about. Let me read to you here, Mark. All right.
Oh, please read to me, Jesse.
All right.
Please read to me, Daddy.
Keep your hands where I can see them. I grab you by the waist. It's time to see how you taste.
Wait, stop. Hey, Melissa. It's time for me to grab you by the waist and see how you taste.
Screams of pleasure fill the air. I hold you down by your hair.
Wait, hang on. What was that?
Screams of pleasure fill the air.
My wife's take on what that piece of literature you just shared with the world was, it sounds like it was written by Dr. Seuss.
Well, 1975, Lordi coming at you there. I mean, it's classic Lordi. It's just not, not for me right now. So, Coop?
I mean, this album certainly has existed so far.
It has.
It has.
No
I mean, it's one
it.
of those, I don't hate it in any manner, really.
Right.
Will say I don't necessarily feel like a lot of it's really stood out to.
Wildly inoffensive.
Yeah, I mean, this is like if you fucking flick your bean to Kiss, if you really wish it was still the 1970s because gas was only whatever it cost and you could just be racist whenever, like, hey, by all means, go back to then. Listen to this album. Take it with you in your little time machine. Otherwise, it's all right.
Tight. Tight, Jesse.
Aight.
Ooh-ha. Okay. My son came in the room the other day, and we were like, Jonas, what do you need? What's going on? How can we help you? And he's like, okay. I'm like, what? Easy, Little John.
Did he just Lil John? That reference is like way older than him.
Well, no, we called him Little John. He was like, no, I'm Jonas. I'm like, shut up.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, I mean, he already knows about Anime Beach episodes, so, like, the kid's going places.
He really is. He's a smarty. Hey, Jesse, when we come back, what do we talk about what the Angry Metal Guy thinks of all of this?
Oh, let's do it.
All right, so the next 3 songs on this, what might be an abbreviated Metal Hammer of Doom tonight, are...
It might be the 100% most, we have talked about this band so much. I don't know what else to add.
The King on the Head, Staker's Mountain, Carnivore, and Phantom Lady. Hey, Melissa, I said, if you want to stand by your man, I really think you should leave. Things could get out of hand, don't you understand, Melissa? Oh, yes, they would. Melissa said, baby, you don't understand. I got a craving for meat, like the kind you have. Nothing's like long pork taste it once, I'll give you seconds for sure.
Is it bad that as you're reading that, I'm thinking of the Andrew Dice Clay joke? You know, she said, give me 12 inches and make it hurt. So I fucked her 3 times and hit her over the head with a brick. Oh!
Oh! That fucking whore. All right, so now that my wife is just noped out of this entire conversation, possibly out of this marriage, no one ever really knows. Jesse, what does the angry metal guy think about all this?
Oh, well, unfortunately, it does not look like the angry metal guy has dropped any knowledge on Lordiversity. Maybe he's just waiting for us to get done reviewing all the albums.
Maybe he was smart. Maybe he was smarter than us and decided to not do all 7 albums individually.
That's a very good possibility. Okay, so taking a look over at Phylactery, yes, I've talked about Phylactery before. They gave this a 3.9 out of 5.
Okay.
Their pros are good hard rock album, nice southern rock sound here and there. And then the cons are not competitive with Lordi's best individual albums in regards of quality. I'll definitely agree with that.
Can I tell you what my take on this album is?
Yeah.
This and maybe one of its closest, like the next one up, which I think was supposed to be in the year 1979. I honestly think this, and I guess it was maybe, I don't know.
Superflytrap.
Yeah, okay.
Superflytrap's the disco one that you loved.
Yeah, no. There's another one that comes close to the sound of this one. Like I feel like this could have been combined with another album. Maybe. Abusement Park was more classic heavy metal. Okay, you know what? Here it is. The AOR influence sound of No, not that. Well, the AOR influence sound of Humanimals is influenced by Bon Jovi, Desmond Child, and Alice Cooper. Now I don't know, Jesse. There's a part of me that just feels like we didn't need the 7th album here. We didn't need. Like, this sound feels like another one of their albums, but as I'm reviewing this through the wiki, I might be wrong about that.
I mean, you can't say that it was Abracadaver, similar to that. I mean, they're quoting Anthrax and Pantera there. I mean, they're saying that they were influenced Judas Priest, Metallica, and that. I mean, yeah, I don't know. It definitely does not sound like Superflytrap. Superflytrap was so disco. It was.
Yeah, it was.
It was. Not
yeah.
Right.
No. I totally 100% agree with you guys. I don't know. Maybe we haven't done Masterbeast from the Moon yet. That's the last one that we're going to do.
It's not going to sound anything like this.
Right.
It's going to be, and is that the next one after this?
Yeah.
In the chronology.
Yes.
No, it's after Superflytrap. So it's the third one.
Yeah. But 83 and 84. I don't know. Maybe. Yes, maybe. I don't know. Set in the fictional timeline of 83 and 84, Abusement Park was influenced by Wasp, Twisted Sister, Kiss, and Scorpions. Maybe that's the one I'm thinking of.
It could be. It could very well be. Well, heading back over to MetalDigest.com, they gave it a 70% for Skelectric Dinosaur. Over on Rate Your Music, they gave, out of 45 ratings, 2.95. So I'm assuming that's out of 5. We got one reviewer on albumoftheyear.org, gave this an 80, and I think that is all I was able to find specifically to this album. You know, one of the things that I noticed, and again, this goes more towards the support of Lordi and this idea of Lordiversity, listen to the production quality of these songs. And you can actually tell, I mean, the production quality goes up, especially when you listen to Spooky Sextravaganza Spectacular. That was produced like you wouldn't believe. Like, I mean, it was produced like a Rob Zombie 90s album, late 90s album. And then you've got this 1975 stuff sounds like it was recorded in 75 almost. It's really... And I don't know how much of that is the actual sound of the era or their purposeful, I believe it's a purposeful way of producing this album. Which, you know, again, this was all recorded, I think, during the lockdowns and stuff, so they may not have had a productive production worth of crap at that point. But what an easy album it would have been to do if you didn't have to rely on the production because you wanted it to go with the theme of the album. So anyway, it looks like as far as, I mean, I could read a little something here.
Go ahead.
At the end of our, we'll just look at Phylacteries. This is the reviewer. What is this reviewer's name? I want to kind of give them Florian Buchting is the reviewer's name, and their view of this album. It says, this is the first album, by the way, he listened to. So apparently he just got the albums, and he did the review. Florian did the review immediately. I have a good feeling about this project now. The songs are on point and thematically feel to be a great fit, and they may still feel like a Lordi album. Yes, the album as much might not be a must listen as a solo album, as it simply features too many catching songs. But that's maybe not what Lordiversity is finally all about. First stage is a thumbs up with an optimistic outlook. Okay, so for me, if I was writing that review, I'd be like, okay, this is not the era for me. But I do agree with the person saying, let's see what the next albums bring, because we want to see how this project goes. So there you go, Mark Radulich.
Robert Cooper, what did you think of those last three songs?
I'll be honest, listening to them kind of in isolation, headphones on, I do like what they're bringing. I can see what they're doing with that Kiss inspiration. Pretty simple, but also fairly catchy. Again, it's not anything that I would immediately send to somebody and be like, oh my God, you got to check this out. But if you're a fan of the sound, it's definitely not offensive in the slightest.
Could you imagine? I mean, I don't think it's too hard to find the cross section of fans of Lordi and Kiss. There's got to be a good bit of, I'd say good bit, but there's got to be a fair amount of those out there that like both of those bands.
Oh, I'm sure.
I'd love to find the people that are super fans of both of each group. One that is, I'm a super fan of both those guys. Oh, well, here, check this out. This might be right up your alley. Skelectric Dinosaur, baby.
Here's what I'll tell you.
Tell me.
So, I feel like, some of this stuff, 7 albums, way too much. I think, yeah.
But what ambition, though? You can't knock for the ambition here.
You can't knock the hustle, and I don't want to feel like I'm repeating myself from previous Lordiversity albums, but I don't know. I think in conception, this was a fun idea. In practice, I'm kind of with Robert where I'm like, this is getting repetitive now. I'm almost wondering if instead of doing full albums, maybe 2 or 3 songs from each one of these, and it's like Lordi through the years, like one Lordiversity album, 15 songs maybe.
They sort of did that with Killection, because each one of these albums has a song from Killection. Killection was a thought piece of like, okay, hey, let's do this, where it's Lordi through the years, just exactly what you're saying. And then they were like, they took that, so they did that first, and then they were like, let's run with it.
Right.
So your idea is fantastic. The thing is they already did it. That's where this project came out of.
All right, you ready to hear the last 3 songs of the night?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay, yeah, let's do it.
This was short, man. This is a short night. We have the tragedy of Fannie Mae.
Really?
Rest in peace, Freddie Mac.
Blow My Fuse and Beyond the Valley of the Dolls. No. The tragedy of Annie Mae, Blow My Fuse, and Beyond the Isle Was Mary.
but you're too hard to refuse. Know my views.
Might be our shortest review yet, Jesse. Like the shortest review in the history of doing this whole podcast. Yeah, that was an instrumental there, which I had. I listened to the album when I was mowing the lawn the other day, and here's
the one with the mohawk in it.
The one with the mohawk's gone now. My wife, my ever loving, wonderful, thoughtful wife, who shows her love through acts of service. You know about that, Jesse? That's the love language, acts of service.
Soivist. All
Do
right.
you
That's
get
the one I'm worst at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you not service your women well, Robert Cooper?
No, I got to get the vapor rub.
How about you, Jesse? Does your
You're
wife
doing it wrong.
Does your wife show you love through acts of service? Is that your love language?
Always. Of course.
Yeah. Is that her love? There are many love languages, Jesse. Did you know that?
That's what I've heard. Yeah.
And only one of them might be physical touch.
Sure.
Do you want to touch me there? That would be a love language. What are the other love languages, Melissa?
Service.
Yeah, we talked about service.
Soivist.
Oh, words of affirmation. Like, Jesse, you're a pretty cool fruit who really knows where his hat's at. That's me showing that I love you because you like words of affirmation. Right. What else? Time. Jesse, I show you love by spending all this time with you. Wow. You are actually... Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I love how your wife is the one that's educated in all of these acts of language of love.
Let me tell you how my wife is very educated in all the love languages because she absolutely needs them all.
She needs them all.
Every single language.
She's got a ledger.
My wife is the Tower of Babel of love languages.
She's got a love ledger.
That's what they call my penis.
Melissa says she needs all the love all the time, so I'm going to need you guys to come over here and help me love my wife. Do you understand what I'm trying to tell you? I need you to give her time.
Man, I really I gotta wash my cat.
That's what Melissa wants you to do.
I don't know.
I have to tell you. Well, you said you had to wash your cat, and I said, yeah, that's exactly what Melissa wants you to do. And then I said, hi, Natalia.
You want me to turn her oven on, too?
That's what makes the moisture.
Anyway. Oh, no. What are you cooking?
Gross. Anyway, Jesse.
A whole department.
So love languages.
Yeah.
How did we get on that topic? I'm so tired. I can't remember why I started in on jokes, and then I'm trying to link it back to whatever it was we started with, and can't find my way back. I'm constantly getting lost in the verbal woods. How did I get stuck on acts of service?
Because we were talking about love languages.
Okay, but why were we talking about love languages?
Because you were talking about mowing the lawn.
Oh, right.
Yes.
Mowing the lawn. Yes. Okay. So, yeah. When I was out mowing the lawn, I was listening to this album, and it was as far as providing nice background music while I'm doing labor, it's fine. When I have to sit here and think about it critically, it kind of falls a little flat for me, Jesse. And that's what that had to do with my wife's vagina. Go.
Oh my goodness. It's a little flat.
I don't know. Is it not well carbonated?
Oh my
He
god.
just pops that tap and it bubbles.
Years from now, and in this divorce between Melissa and Mark Radulich, we call a surprise witness Jesse Starcher. Like, Jesse,
He's just like, I just wanted to sit in bed with my wife looking at TikTok.
and two, Jesse. He's like, Your Honor, I was there on every podcast where Mark humiliated his wife and everything that got in his way.
They wouldn't need me as a witness. They just bring in the tape. I mean, it's right here, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, I can't hear you. You're rambling.
Okay, all right. You were not listening, is what it is.
Partner, but Jesse has my back.
Oh, yeah. Melissa says you might be my preferred partner, but you really have Melissa's back, with or without vapor rub.
Oh, no.
I'll rub some vapor rub on a back. I'm not no problem doing
The back
that.
of what?
Not no long pork.
Speaking of long pork, back to Lordi.
So, I don't know if you noticed there, but we got to listen to, oh my goodness, Blow My Fuse, which was off of the Killection album.
Yes.
And, yeah, that was one of my favorite songs off that album. And
Yeah, that's a good
really,
one. That's a really good one.
I dug it here. I think that stood out. I mean, there's a couple songs on here that I wouldn't mind listening to again. The theme is there. It's Lordi being evil, like they always do. In the past 5 albums, we see them be evil no matter what era they're in. But it's just how they frame the, their nefarious deeds and what era it's happening in. And again, Mark, you said you can't knock these guys for the hustle. I can't either.
Yeah.
Their goal was to create an album for any era, and if you are a fan of that era, hopefully you'll like the album that Lordi puts out there. If you like Lordi, you're going to dig it. Now, Coop, I want you to remember this when you're speaking your piece here on the album. I would love for you to dive in a little bit further into, Lordi's vocals and how this, if it fits or if it doesn't fit. I know you said you appreciate what they're trying to do, and now you're getting to kind of hear it with headphones on. But I'm almost kind of there with you, too. Like, is this the era for Lordi and his, raspy, gravelly vocals? I don't know. So, Coop, I'll turn it over to you. As for me, 3 out of 5. That's a low 3, by the way, not a high 3.
Oh, no, a low 3? Well, that's no good. Listening to it a little closer, I'll say that I do feel like it does lend itself well in some parts.
Hey, 1 second, Robert. If her knees don't crack while she's writing you, she's too young. Continue.
I mean, that's accurate.
I mean, yeah.
Facts. Moving on.
Yes. But, I feel like the rasp, especially when I can kind of hear a little stuff that's a little more of that heavier Kiss influence. I hear a little Paul Stanley inflection there with the vocals that he's bringing.
Yeah.
But I don't necessarily feel like it works as an overall as well as it probably they'd like for it to. Not as jarring as Superflytrap was, but still not really the best use of his vocal talents.
Yeah, one of the influences that was mentioned in one of the reviews was Blue Oyster Cult, and as we were going through the album, I was kind of picking a few of those songs that definitely felt leaning towards that, and those are the ones that I liked. If it was kind of heavy Kiss, I could tell that just wasn't the stuff I enjoyed. So I agree with you about the whole jarring concept on Superflytrap. This isn't as bad.
Yeah. I mean, I think it works better with what they do, but I still do feel like it's I'm still not the best use of their talents. I would give it like a solid. Yeah, I mean, I'd give it a 3 out of 5. It's good for what it does. I just still don't necessarily love it.
All right, folks, that is the end of our review of Skelectric Dinosaur. A solid meh from your friends here at the Metal Hammer of Poly Kinkery.
Speak for yourself.
Not me. I wasn't there. Next week. No. 2 weeks. Because next week I will be at a speakeasy. Going with speakeasy, Jesse. What do you think about that?
Well, sounds like a lot of fun. Better be quiet about it.
I'm gonna go to... No, that one I'll be allowed to talk about out loud.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, it's the other nonsense I'm involved in.
I just hope nobody shakes you too much, because then it'll be a speak queasy.
Well, the whole reason we're going to this particular speakeasy is because this is where remember those lovely burlesque dancers I was telling you about? They do a show at the Saint in St. Petersburg on Wednesdays. So my wife made me cancel the Metal Hammer of Doom for June 29th so that I could take her to a speakeasy and she could look at burlesque dancers. Yep. That is how I show love Jesse Starcher with time. That is time spent with my beloved. That is how I show I love her. Do you understand what I'm trying to tell you?
Yeah. Yep.
So we'll be back in 2 weeks. July 6th, Ailstorm, 7th Rum of the 7th Rum. If you're listening to this, you're like, hey, what did they do in the Metal Hammer of Doom this past week? Humiliated my wife. That's what we did. Funny thing about that, she didn't know we were recording. Like, legit didn't know that I...
Oh, wait, she didn't?
No, she was just like, hey, I can let my tits and vagina out and just have all kinds of fun with Mark's friends. And I was like, you just said that, like, publicly. She's like, no, you're not recording now, are you? And I'm like, yeah, we've been recording for like 20 minutes now. She's like, oh, you're going to edit that, right? And I'm like, fuck right off. I don't edit for shit. She's like, well. And then she got the want ads out because she will no longer have a teaching job. So...
I mean, can't we just edit her out? We'll just we'll replace her with Bill Bixby.
You got a green screen? Yeah, we could somehow figure that out.
Not putting that much effort into protecting my wife's integrity.
Not
Thank you very
surprised.
No.
Self-destruction.
That's his love language.
Yeah, my love language is benign neglect.
At least it's benign.
At least it's benign, like a tumor. All right.
Not the tumor.
Not the tumor. And then, so we'll be back with Ailstorm July 6th. Then we're skipping another week because I will be at a local resort here in town with my wife. Again, love language, time. So, we'll be back on the 20th of July with Megadeth. Megadeth, the sick and the dying. And then I will be skipping another week. But we will not be doing the Metal Hammer of Doom, but I will definitely be spending time, my love language, with Jesse Starcher.
That's right.
You know where we're going to be, Jesse?
Cleveland, baby. And we're going to be checking out Rage Against the Machine.
Yes, sir. You and I on a sexy date to Rage Against the Machine in Cleveland at the baseball field, whatever it's called, field house. Awesome. And then we'll be back August 3rd. I thought I was going to be done with Wednesday podcast by then, but I had to make some changes. So we have one more Wednesday podcast left. Lordi, Masterbeast from the Moon. We're ending this run of Wednesday shows the way we began, with Lordi.
Lordi broke the Metal Hammer of Doom off of Wednesdays. That's what happened. Lordiversity.
Yep, but then we start on Mondays. That's right. Most Mondays going forward. We have Monday, August 8th, Soulfly Totem, and then skip 2 weeks, and then we are Five Finger Death Punch on August 22nd. Afterlife.
Oh, yeah, I'm moist for it.
Yes, sir. And then on August 29th, Machine Head of Kingdom and Crown.
Nice.
And that takes us into September. In September, see Jesse. We'll have a special Tuesday show. Can you believe it? A special Tuesday show. There's no what do I call that show? Damn You Hollywood. So instead, we're going to do a special Tuesday show. The Metal Hammer of Doom, Blind Guardian, the God Machine. Is what they call me in bed. And then
I thought it was the cod machine. Because you got him flopping like a fish.
I'll have you know I'm quite stiff, sir.
Now?
Most times. And then skip a couple of weeks. And then on October 17th, Skid Row, the gang's all here. And that is it for now. So we got a loaded schedule coming up this summer, the end of summer and fall. Jesse, are you excited?
Oh, boy, am I.
More polykinkery. That's what we're going to be doing here in the Metal Hammer of Doom. What do you think about that?
Just wonderful.
All right. Speaking of polykinkery, Robert Cooper, your plug, sir.
I want the record to show that is the words of Mark Radulich do not have my views of monogamy. Because I'll say, like,
I don't know what you're talking about.
The only poly I ever get involved with is polyhedrons.
Ooh, such as poly dice?
I swear to God, they're usually the only poly I get involved with is fucking parrots.
Well, I am white, so poly want a cracker. I had a friend once did a podcast. She doesn't do it anymore, but she did use dating sites to try and promote it. So maybe that's what we were missing. We were missing the sphere of, hey, I can just get people to listen to my podcast if they think they could sleep with me. So yeah, there you go. If anybody ever wants to use their poly powers for good, just start plugging that shit away on the old dating apps.
Just don't use the vapor rub.
Oh no!
Oh boy!
God, yeah, you're gonna feel like you fucked a parrot.
Non-consensually. I mean,
fucking parrot rape.
Fucking consensual parrots is fine.
Okay.
Right,
Is this coming from experience?
I'm taking notes.
Hang on, my wife would like to weigh in on consensual parrots.
What about consensual, non-consensual?
What? That's an oxymoron.
It's not. It's where you engage in consensual, non-consensual play.
Oh, you mean like rape play?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't do that because I'm just going to say that everything's all fine and dandy until the cops show up at your house.
No, I understand, but my wife's asking a legitimate question, Robert Cooper. What if you want to fuck that parrot, and the parrot's like, yeah, I'm into it, but I want to act like I'm not?
I won't care if the parrot's into it. There is too big of a risk involved with that.
I mean, if the other person's not into, like Robert Cooper, not into consensual, non-consensual, whether it's a parrot or not. So the problem,
it is too risky.
The problem with consensual, non-consensual is not the consensual, non-consensual. It's not the parrot.
It's the consensual, non-consensual.
It's the consensual, non-consensual.
It is way too risky,
right.
And like, I'm just saying, my bumbling ass would manage to stumble on the one person that was just looking for money.
Okay. Speaking of
ironically, I don't
so
have
glad.
any.
So glad I was here for this.
Speaking of consensual, non-consensual podcasts, Jesse Starcher, your plugs.
Speaking of someone fucking a parrot.
Consensual, non-consensual podcaster. That would probably be a perfect
that is your new
description
name,
right
Dick
now.
Dittens.
Consensual, non-consensual podcast. I don't really want to be here.
Consensual, non-consensual podcaster, Jesse Starcher.
I showed up. I guess I'm in it for the long haul. Here we go. Let's get it on.
More like the dong hall, am I right?
Oh, my goodness gracious. So, hey, listen. I've got a comic book podcast that I do on the Source Material Comics podcast feed. So if you get a chance, you like to...
I'm totally putting this in the group chat. Jesse's new nickname.
That's just great. This is great. Look, we've aired a couple things. As a matter of fact, today dropped our Unspoken Issues discussion on Panic in the Sky. Unspoken Issues is a 90s comics centric podcast. Panic in the Sky was the event that occurred in the Superman comics shortly before Death of Superman. So if you remember in 1992, Superman died. Well, this is the event that happened a little bit prior to that. So check that out if you're interested in 90s comics. That's one of the things I specialize in there. And of course, the Source Material Comics podcast. We're recording for an upcoming podcast this Friday. I'm hoping to get I know Alexis Hanna is going to be joining me, and Benjamin J. Colon may possibly be joining us as well. We're going to be talking Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: The Last Ronin. And as a companion piece to that, I did a full solo episode on the first issue of Fugitoid, which a lot of people are just sitting there going like, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Fugitoid, what's going on? What is this dude talking about? Hey, check it out. It's going to be a lot of fun. This Last Ronin story is a really, really good story. It's about the last Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle that's out there, and we get a great wrap-up to a alternate timeline story. So we also are going to be recording our discussion of Hell of a Boss, which apparently every day that's near the top of the charts here on the Radulich and Broadcasting Network, where Alexis Hanna and myself discussed the first 4 episodes of it. I think maybe 3 or 4 episodes of Hell of a Boss. We're coming back. We're going to be discussing another 4 this Friday. So also, Kapow, the Pop Culture Podcast, dropped today, and they dropped my appearance on there, where we actually got to sit down and talk about some TV. It took place about between 1 and 2 o'clock in the morning there last Friday. So as to how coherent it is, I don't know, but I can tell you it was a lot of fun. We talked about Stranger Things. We talked about The Time Traveler's Wife. We talked about a bunch of TV that happened. Had a good time with those guys, as always. And we're doing a Kids on Bikes. Last plug, I promise. Kids on Bikes. If you are into the role-playing game Kids on Bikes, we started a campaign. Me and Kapow, the guys from Kapow, are doing a campaign over there. The first episode of us generating our characters has hit the airwaves, and most likely here in about a week or so, you're going to be hearing us on our initial adventure, I guess you'd say. So that's it.
All right,
everybody.
Thank you for the consensual, non-consensual plugs.
Always.
You know what's funny is that every time you mention Kids on Bikes, I think of the clip from, you've seen Letterkenny, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, fuck. I could watch your kids fall off bikes all fucking day.
All right, folks.
Great.
Thank you for joining us on the Metal Hammer of Doom for the consensual, non-consensual Jesse Starcher, otherwise known as Dick Tittens. For Robert Dick and the Vic Cooper, the Metal Coop, I'm always keep 'em moist, Mark Radulich. Be well, be safe, and behave. Again.
Oh no, did you stick your dick in the vapor rub?